Yeah. What kind of martial arts do you do?
Well, I actually started back, I was born in 66, so I started martial arts before there was mixed martial arts.
Hmm.
I've studied pretty much everything because what I found when I was young, every martial art has its weakness
Hmm.
in sometimes the other martial arts, and a lot of them are separated, like grappling or punching, or like judo and karate, right?
Hmm.
In judo, right? I've done judo in Japan. My sensei was one of the guys that was in the Olympics. He was a badass, but it's like there were so many times in judo where you could literally punch the guy, but you can't grapple or anything. But I could get
Hmm.
out of it if I could just give him a fist here or there.
Hmm.
And the same thing in karate. It's like you can't grapple, you can't do the judo stuff. So I always found that studying all the different martial arts. What I say now is that now it's mixed martial arts. They've figured out a lot of the best striking, grappling,
Hmm.
different techniques. But as far as real life goes, and I always recommend this, especially for women or people that have kids. Aikido and Krav Maga are probably the two that are missing from the whole MMA because it's those two. Krav Maga is like how to defend yourself in any situation using anything you could possibly imagine. You know what I mean? It was developed by the Israelis, and it is hardcore. I'm
Hmm.
talking, use this book to, whatever you can imagine,
Roll
fight
up a
to the,
magazine real tight.
yeah, whatever it may be, you fight to the death. They teach you all these techniques. Aikido is awesome um, because it's about using the other person's momentum and force and everything against them. You know what I mean? It's like circles, throwing people. I was in Japan learning this, like these old guys are throwing around the football players like they're nothing. You know what I mean? It's like twistings, and you get somebody in a hold where you just lock them up and they can't do anything. Um, but the whole idea of martial arts isn't about hurting people. And I'm a weapons guy. I have endless weapons, swords and knives and nunchucks and you name it, and I've done it.
Hmm.
But it's more of like a training thing. It's more of a, like my sword. I've been into swords my whole life, and I love the katana. It's like the best sword I believe out there, and it's not about violence to me at all. It's more like uh, I don't know, maybe a dance, more like that. It's more like you're becoming one with these movements. When you do these katas, you do these different types of forms. It's like, can you master your body? Can you, keep the strength and the grace and everything else in motion? It's kind of like the meditation, walking meditations. You know what I mean? You can use the martial arts that way, but then you can also use it to defend yourself because we are in a world that is not perfect, and it has helped me a lot. So as far as like I don't know. I think that the mind and the body, the spirit and the emotions, all of this is kind of like we have to get it all kind of on the same page and flowing in the same direction for us to be our best self. And if we're taught these kind of techniques when we're young, it will help us be able to moderate ourselves, control ourselves, and become better people because we're not, beholden to just these thoughts flowing through our mind, or we're not able to control our bodies the way we want, or whatever it may be. So.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea about how it's not about violence. It's like a dance, Like there's a reason it's called an art, martial arts. Um,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it's fun. I don't know if I had this dream. Okay, when I was a kid, I had this dream where I was this is a dream. So just remember, I'm in this house and I'm with all my brothers. For some reason, I have 12 brothers, and we are fighting like you wouldn't believe. Like we're throwing people through the windows. We have swords, but we can't hurt each other. None of us are getting hurt. We're laughing. We go outside, and our mom throws us out, and we're out in this. We're just sword fighting, and it's like every time you hit somebody, it's like we move backwards, but we're not hurt. But it was the most fun game I've ever played in my life. And I think men are kind of like this. It's like tag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when I'm doing a martial art,
Totally.
what I mean? It's like a game. It's not like I want to hurt this guy. I mean, I laid out my sensei in Japan a couple times, because you're full on. I mean, with the full mask, full body, everything, and you're going at it. And it was more like tag, like seriously, like I was able to get through this 12th degree black belt and knock his ass out. You know what I mean? It's like making that basket, the 3-pointer. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of feeling. So um,
It's very primal feeling, very like the fun is like the potential that you're doing this very ancient, this very evolutionary type of action. there's like a
Yeah,
potential to um, cause harm to, defend yourself, or whatever.
it's like a it's like a tiger being a tiger sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're animals, and I
Hmm.
think this aggression, this feeling of men have where we want to fight, it gets twisted in our society, and we tell people it's wrong and all these things. I think it needs to be let out in a positive way. You know what I mean? It's like all the top degree martial artists I've ever met, ninjutsu artists, aikido masters, judo guys, whatever, they're very peaceful guys. They're not
Hmm.
going out and brawling in the bars. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They are not doing any of that stuff. They're stopping people from doing that stuff.
The key is
Um,
to be able to be. You have to be able to cause this kind of harm, but not actually be willing to be the initiator of it.
well, yeah, and it's also that piece. It's like in the East, they have this idea of the iron fist inside the velvet glove, right?
Hmm.
So the velvet glove is this love and the peace and everything else. But at the same time, man, you cross this line, it's over.
Goes back to the yin and yang, the balance.
Exactly. Um, I think this comes back to the whole point of sometimes where we get in fights with people. I've been in a lot of fights in my life. Um, One of them comes to mind. I was in a fight with a friend of mine. To go back, he sexually assaulted my girlfriend. He was a friend of mine. I wasn't
Hmm.
there at the party. Went and talked to him for like over an hour, trying to hash it out with him, lying to me. Anyways, this whole thing
Hmm.
deteriorated at the very end. Um, him just kind of blowing it off as nothing or whatever. Anyways, got into a fight. And the whole point I'm bringing this up is that there is a point, I think, it's like why we have law and order, why we have this, there's a line, you know what I mean, that in humanity, that if you cross it, you're just wrong, man. You know what I mean? It's like it's over.
Hmm.
Like we went to war, in the Second World War. It was like, no, this is just too wrong. You know what I mean? We can't just let this go. This
Yeah.
isn't just, so I think that because of the way this whole, like you said, yin and yang is set up on this earth, the good and evil, our choice between being corrupted or not being corrupted, you know what I mean? All of this is about this. It's like we could use force, but we choose not to, or we limit it, or we use it intensely when you cross this line. You know what I mean? And that's what I think makes us a just being. You know what I mean? We're not just an animal, right? We don't just go out there and just kill and whatever
Hmm.
anytime But there is a point where we're like, yeah, we will kill you. You come and try
Hmm.
to kill my or take my kids, or what I mean. You can name a list, a mile long. That if you cross that line, sure, we'll probably end up trying to kill you,
Hmm.
to stop you. But I think
Yeah.
that's the whole idea of martial arts. It's for the good reason. You know what I mean? We learn that to protect and defend yourself, not to do violence unto another. You know what I mean? Not going out there, hey, I don't like you, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. No, I will stop you from beating the crap out of me or from them, but and that's just what's needed in this life.
Hmm.
I've also stopped a fight. I was a bouncer in a club when I was in college. I actually became head bouncer there, and I was the one that always went into every situation and tried to break it up. And I've had so many surreal experiences there. I can't even tell you. But this one, I these guys had this altercation in the club. And they all went outside. Anyways, I walk out and there's two guys facing off with knives, and I'm talking Bowie knives, huge knives. One guy had been stabbed already, and they're just about to go at it. So what I did is I grab the guy that had been stabbed and take his knife out of him and push him backwards. And I stand from the guy that has the knife that's ready to fight, and I'm like, "You can fight me, or you can get the fuck out of here right now." You know what I mean? And it was like, because I knew the cops were coming. I knew who this kid was. Everybody knew who he was. But this guy is going to die in the next minute to 2 minutes if I don't do something. So, anyways, I get him to leave, and I save this guy's life. Um, he was stuck right here, right in his lung, and it was intense, man. I'm talking. I had my hands, blood is pumping through. I'm yelling for people to give me their shirts. I mean, the guy's on the ground. He passes out, and the ambulance gets there and it saved him. I mean, it was like probably minutes. And he came back to me months later, and we had a good conversation. He was actually stabbed. He was the wrong guy. The guy was trying to stab this guy that was messing with this girl, and he stabbed the wrong guy. So this guy the life I saved, wasn't even like part of the issue at all. It was just like the wrong guy. Um, but when I'm saying that is like, if I didn't know how to do anything, like take a knife out of somebody's hand, you twist their hand a certain way, you can take a knife out and whatever. and be tough enough to stand up against that guy, um, and get him to know that he will die if he fights me, or something's going to happen. I've had that happen to me so many times in so many different fights, where it's not a sometimes it's not a fight, meaning it's a fight, but you stop the fight. That's like the whole idea. Sometimes it's like the deterrent. I've been
Hmm.
confronted by gangs, like where there's 10, 20 guys, they're going to beat the crap out of me. And I was able to stop them from doing anything by the right words, by the right actions. And I even hit one of the guys in the group that was mouthing off to the point, but nobody moved. And I was able to stop them from fighting because of what I was saying. And I wasn't against them. I was showing them that what they were doing was wrong. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Yep.
and the rest of it. So, and I became their friends. I mean,
Yep.
I'm the kind of guy that was like make friends with a biker or a gang, and then be able to walk up into that gang where they say nobody would ever walk up to. It's like walking up to the Hell's Angels and being accepted by them and having conversations with them. These people are human beings, and if you just talk to them like they are, you'll find out that half of these people want to be great people. They just don't know how. Their life circumstances, their
Hmm.
situations, being molested as kids, and being on drugs, being twisted by some weird ideology, whatever it may be. It's like, I don't know. We're all brothers and sisters, man. Just
Hmm.
gotta help them, and not
Yep.
not anyway.
Yep.